Okay guys, educational moment, ready? Curious? Okay, good. That was Omar, our safety guide. They are hired just to bring us ice, nothing more. No, I'm kidding, of course. So guys, this ice is how years old? How many years old? How much? 1,000. Ah, you've been to the glacier hike, right? Okay. Okay, 1,000 years old. So all the ice in the lagoon is 1,000 years old. This used to be a part of one of these icebergs here, the same way as those icebergs used to be a part of the glacier that you see right there. You see the lights. So I will explain you how it works and tell you a little bit about the glacier, and then this view is all yours. You can drink it, you can taste it, you can take a photo with it. I'm not judging. Anyway, guys, all this ice on the mountains in front of me, behind you, is a part of Vatnajökull glacier. Vatnajökull is the biggest glacier in Iceland, covers 8% of the entire country here. So there's a lot of ice here. Actually, the main ice cap is located deeper in Icelandic highlands, so we don't see it from here. What we see are just two outlet glaciers, 1 and 2, and there are 30. So it's a really huge glacier. Its area is 300 times bigger than the area of this lake. So imagine that. It's also the first glacier when it comes to the volume in Europe. Yeah, I will give you the name of this outlet glacier because you're gonna remember it. It's Breiðamerkurjökull. And yeah, this is my favorite part. It's the biggest of all the 30 outlet glaciers here, and Breiðamerkurjökull is 12 kilometers wide, and like I said, it's the source for all these icebergs in the lagoon. So at the end of the lake, when the water meets the ice, there is a vertical wall of ice, and it's the spot where the icebergs break off the glacier. And after several days, sometimes weeks, of course, depending on their size and the weather, they end up in the mouth of the lagoon over there, closer to the bridge. So usually they stay there for 2-3 months, and they end up in the ocean. Of course, during that time, ice melts, so the pieces, when they are small enough to be pushed under the bridge, they go to the ocean then. And sometimes ocean pushes the ice chunks back on the Diamond Beach, which is across the bridge. So if you're going there or if you've been there, now you will know that all the diamonds on the Diamond Beach are actually 1,000 years old pieces of glacial ice. Now, unlike the ice, the lake is actually pretty young. Another question, how old do you think is the lake? This is my favorite part. Okay.
9.99.
9.99. Okay, it's good direction. It has to be younger than the ice, right? But it's much younger. Actually, it's just 90 years old. 90 years ago,
90 years old?
yeah, 90 years ago, this place was all covered with ice. And that guy over there used to actually touch the location of the bridge. So just imagine, 90 years, it's nothing. Glacier needed 90 years to melt by 9 kilometers. That's the distance today between the bridge and the glacier. So yeah, it happens
9
really.
kilometers.
9 kilometers.
Loose ice.
Yep. That's right.
No kilometers this year.
So in 1930s, glacier for the first time started to melt after centuries of growing, and a little lake had been formed in that area, and that lake grew bigger over the decades. And today we have 27 square kilometers of the lake, and the lake is still growing as the glacier retreats. So every iceberg makes the outlet glacier shorter. Now you see that the ice is have different colors. There's a lot of black particles in the ice. This is all volcanic ash coming from different volcanic eruptions along the centuries here, trapped in glacial ice. Blue color, anyone?
Yes.
Any idea?
Over there.
Sorry?
No, I said the one over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of blue ice. So guys, this is actually optical illusion. There is no ingredient in the ice that makes it blue. We just see it as if it was blue because this ice is very compressed. And that density doesn't allow all the light to go through it, so all the colors of the rainbow are being absorbed by the ice, except from the blue wavelength that's being reflected back. And this reflection is actually what we see. After some days, this blue ice is slowly turning white because of it's losing its density, so the sun exposure makes it whiter. So usually the outer layer of the iceberg looks more blue, and then from deep inside you still see that blue color popping out. Now I forgot to mention that this lake is also the only lagoon in Iceland that is connected with the ocean. So the glacier melts fast here, but it happens a little bit faster than in the other lagoons because there's a lot of salt in this water that comes here from the ocean. And also this lake is the deepest lake in Iceland. Right here it's about 50 meters, so it's not that deep. But the deepest point is located over there, very close to the glacier, 286 meters. If you've been to Paris, you remember how Eiffel Tower looks like? Eiffel Tower is
206 meters.
so we could almost squeeze it in here. Now, these icebergs, what you see above the surface, this is just 10 to 20%. So if we are at 50 meters, there's a lot of room for that ice. And usually the big pieces touch the bottom of the lake. So this is also the answer to the question, can we touch the iceberg from the boat? So, do you remember Titanic? And you're still asking me that question. So guys, when icebergs break, they like to flip over. And then that massive amount of ice that is hidden in the water is being shown, it's appearing over the surface of the water. So, you know, this boat is very slow. So you can connect the dots, right? Okay, now, I'm really glad that there are seals today. And actually I'm surprised myself because there is usually every couple of days we see them chilling on the flat icebergs, but today is a lot of them, really a lot. It doesn't happen on every tour, so consider yourself lucky and you have the greatest weather. Also the fact that we see the glacier is not that obvious. Sometimes we don't see the glacier, so it's really easy for me to tell you facts about things that we actually see. Now, when it comes to the seals, there is a colony of 250 harbor seals that live here in the lagoon, and they are here not only for the food that comes here from the ocean, so usually you can spot them hunting closer to the bridge, but the channel that connects the lagoon is very shallow. So this is too shallow water for the killer whales, which is obviously the good news for the seals. They are here on at the top of the food chain, so that's why it's so easy to see them. And I mentioned how fast the glacier retreats here, so if you want to see how it used to look like 20 years ago, just watch James Bond, Die Another Day with Pierce Brosnan. There's a scene of how Bond arrives to Iceland, driving his cool Aston Martin to the Crystal Palace that was built on the frozen lake. It was here. I mentioned that salty water coming from the ocean, right? So it doesn't really help the water to freeze in the winter. Even if the water temperature drops below zero, it's not that obvious and it's not that easy for the water to freeze. So the movie crew built a sand dam under the bridge to stop that salty water from getting to the lake, divided the lagoon of the ocean basically. And within 2 weeks, everything was frozen. But keep in mind that 20 years ago, glacier used to be a little bit closer and lake was a bit smaller. So you can find that scene on YouTube. I recommend it. And another scene that I want to recommend you to see is the scene from Lara Croft Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie. They were shooting some scenes and actually they rented 3 of our boats for the movie. So you're gonna see amphibian boats, familiar amphibian boats, painted grey, pretending to be Russian ships because they were pretending that this is Siberia. So you're gonna see a lot of husky dogs and a Siberian village built on the parking lot. And Angelina speaking Russian and traveling on amphibian boat to the glacier. It's not possible, by the way, but she did it because she's Angelina. Okay, guys, now.
You have fish in this.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Fish?
Yeah, there's salmon, cod, herring, and there's a lot of krill in the lake in general. But it's coming from the ocean.